We've hit 10K in revenue. Having too much money while building your startup is like going to a gym that has fake weight. He built a product, he built a hype around the product. Once you raise money, you need to continue raising money.
80% of startups fail because founders build useless products.
I know, but I got hurt a little bit.
Wait, Dan, come. I wanna introduce you with someone.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, lovely Dan.
I am very happy to hear you today. How's
Hey,
it
it's
going?
going lovely, lovely, lovely. I have to tell you something. I'm in nature. It's sunny in Finland. It's actually quite enjoyable. How are you?
Extremely good. It's been sunny all week, 20 degrees. I'm ready to go. This show is going to be amazing. I went ahead. So, we're doing this on a weekly basis instead of 2 times a week. And I get the chance to kind of note down the stuff that I see throughout the week and discuss it on the show. So that's super cool. We have a few topics. So Juanjo, he made a weekend project that we talked about in the show. And in the meantime, he actually sold it for 1.5K, which is really cool. Then we had David Park that wrote like a book. It's not a tweet anymore. It's a book of how he got from 0 to 5 million annual recurring revenue, and he has all of the tips in there. Like I don't even know how we'll cover this because it's so long, but maybe just like the initial thing. Then we have our friend John Rush talking about unicorns failing, and then it's a bit subjective, but it's talking about the future, or the future he thinks that is bootstrapped companies, which is quite interesting. We have Yossi. He's making SEO stuff, and he launched a really awesome feature to browse keywords. So there's finally a tool to do SEO that doesn't cost like $100 a month. So I really want to talk about this. It's super cool. We have Mark Louvion. He launched another thing. It's kind of like every month now, but and I want to talk about it because it's a completely free product, and it's obviously a lead magnet for ShipFast, but it is something you might be interested in. I don't know if you saw it. It's a product to gather user feedback. So we're gonna check that out. I haven't just to check it out on the show. I haven't went deep on the website or anything. I just know it exists, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna get your raw
Whoa,
opinion on
you
it. So I
came to
can't
this
wait.
show ready and prepared, Dan.
Well, we're professional now. We have YouTube, we have the Spotify. We cannot just come.
Yeah, and we have a good internet connection
Yeah.
at this point. At this point, we are a morning maker show.
Yeah. Before this, so this is like where we put the line. Before this, we were kind of figuring out how to do a show, and now we are a show. We crossed
Well,
the other
congrats
line,
to
I
us,
think.
Dan.
Come. I wanna introduce you with someone. Skin out.
I can't.
My mother. Hello.
Hi. Hello. I can't see. Hi. I heard so much about you. Finally, it's like meeting a hero.
This is my hero.
Oh.
Aww. That's so sweet.
Sunshine.
That's so
Oh.
sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have my mother on the show with us. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Well, let's just start, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll take the first one by Juanjo Valino. I sold Marvin from birth to sale in less than a week. What a time to be alive. Truly. A couple of DMs, 0 calls, $1,652. That's roughly 1,500 euros. This is my first startup acquisition. Take care of Marvin, Matt, the buyer. I hope it will help you grow your niche tools. So, do you remember what Marvin was?
What the tool was? Oh my God, we
Yeah,
covered it
so
last week. That was really
yeah.
fast.
Yeah, it was yeah, like last week. He built it in a weekend. He launched it last week, and it's already gone
Isn't
for
this brilliant? Like,
1.5K.
this is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's like a fantastic playbook on how to build something and sell it. So what it does in a nutshell is autocomplete test cards, and a lot of people found this as a good way to build products because he started with a problem that everyone has, and then when he launched it, it was very easy for pretty much every indie maker in the community to recognize, oh yeah, this is annoying and this is actually a
Yeah.
cool product. I don't know why no one has built it. It's very simple, and I just think it's genius that he managed to
I
build
have
it so
questions.
fast. I probably yeah.
First of all, I want to know to who did he sold, because I love the idea of makers building a product, us, I don't know, recognizing that this is a good product, then the product being sold to someone who probably will manage to do, I don't know, marketing sales and probably scale it up. So I want to know who bought it, and does this person coming from like dev background, or he's more marketing and sales person?
Oh, so we're gonna do some stalking. Let's go. So it's my favorite. So Matt, he's a developer, I think. He's building nichetools.net. He's helping others find ways to make passive income. So a collection of untapped popular niches that need
Oh, then
simple
this
tools.
fits,
Let's check
then what
this
he bought
out.
totally fits.
Yeah, for sure. So, build tools that profit. Skip the market research. Niche tools is a growing list of keywords, websites, and data points for you to build tools fast and for profit. Okay, so it's you get you get ideas to build tools, I think. So with niche tools, you get 300 plus tools to build, vetted with proven search
Ooh.
volume, build backlinks, go viral. Yeah. So it's okay. So the product that he bought might be a lead magnet for niche tools, and then niche tools is kind of a database of ideas. That's how I understand it anyway.
Or it's like a marketplace where he's gonna put it there and then bring people to continue on this tool. Oh, I like this idea.
Yeah, that's actually a question for Matt. If we tag him, I'm not sure from the copy here. Like going on niche tools, I expected to have something that I pay for, and then I get access to, let's say, 5 tools, right? But at a first glance, it's not that. It's buying access to some sort of database of ideas. And you see in the price here, 500 tool ideas, 100 untapped niche tools. I'm not sure what that is. Is that
Products, I think
products?
so. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can buy a
Yeah.
product, but you pay $100 to buy a product. Okay, we need clarifications from Matt.
I mean,
I'm
I
not
can tell
entirely
you what
sure.
I see from this. So, Matt goes around and buys small tools. Then he brings it here and then he sells these tools to people. But I don't understand the pricing.
Oh, so you think there's a
I
marketplace as
feel
well
like it,
where
yeah.
you can? Yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah, there's some work to do
Yeah.
on the copy, I would say, because you could be right, and that would make sense from the name,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If it's a market, then maybe you pay for access to see the market. So you pay the $99, but then if you want to buy a tool, that's a different
Different price,
price,
yeah.
right? And each tool has its own price. That would make sense. So you just get access to see what's available.
I know where to spend 99 euros. Oh, dollars, sorry.
That's even better in
Oh,
euros. It's like 80
yeah.
something. Yeah. So yeah, very cool. What do you think about building these and
I love
selling
it.
them quickly?
I love
Like,
it. Like,
yeah.
I've seen great products, and like he did such a good job. He built a product, he built a hype around the product, he sold it, he's moving on. Let's do the next thing, and someone else will figure out. Like, people recognize that it's a problem, but now if he decided to move forward with the product, he would have to spend time on like building more and more probably,
Oh
and
no.
spending more.
Oh no. The gods of internet have declined Sandra.
Of
Sandra, are you
course, I'm
back?
back.
Well, I've lost her for a second. But yeah, I totally agree with what she said. I think, first of all, the fact that he managed to build this hype around it so fast is a lesson in how to market the product, but also on how to engage the actual target group. And I think the best thing to learn from this is how he managed to target this very specifically at builders or indie makers. And there's nothing wrong about doing products for indie makers. Like I think we're going to talk about John Rush. Basically, all of his products, I think he says it's for busy entrepreneurs or busy bootstrapper or something like that. And that's his whole thing. And you identify that, you find the tool, you speak to those people. Exactly. And then selling it, I think for this type of tool it makes sense because realistically it cannot grow beyond this. This is what this tool is. It's not going to become a huge SaaS. It's a small tool that people will buy once and use forever.
Yeah,
So,
of
Sandra,
course.
are you back?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Why?
So you're not really back. All right. While Sandra figures out what's going on with her internet, I can take on the next topic, which is David's Park. I think I would call this a mini guide, but it is the longest post I've seen on Twitter or X in my lifetime. So the title is How to Go from 0 to 5 million yearly recurring revenue step by step. So overall, he has tips on organic short form content, and he goes into details on how he does that. I read it. It's basically going into these micro influencer accounts making deals. And then he has some really interesting insights on the fact that going for the bigger influencers is actually not as good as going for the smaller one. So you pay more, and the chance that you go viral is not that much bigger from what he says. So it's better to have multiple deals, or even make deals with them where they create a new account, so they don't even have to compromise their image or whatever. They create a new account and they create a series of videos for you. And that's going to be cheaper than the main account because it starts with 0 followers. And the chance of that going viral is actually pretty huge. So that is very interesting. You need to read it. You need to go in there. So Sandra, she's a listener now. Sandra, what do you think about my discourse? Are you ever going to go outside of your house to record the show from now on?
Absolutely. Forever
Yeah?
and ever then, because you are becoming so good at this point, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm gonna make more and more challenges for you. Honestly, in the next show, I'm gonna be on the mountain. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the good part about this is you keep me on my
I know.
toes. So I'm actually prepared for everything. So if you just drop out, I have set up the AI. So we're talking about setting AI voice for ourselves, and I got you covered. I have like a small snippet that I can run. So if you completely go away, then we have the AI and the show goes on forever.
I
It's
am
all good.
booking a ticket for a mountain.
All right. I actually would like to have the show with you. Just all right. More from David's. Could you please link it, Sandra, if you haven't, or I'll help you link it. All right. The other thing is how to find the influencers, which is kind of the most difficult part. And there's like a whole strategy on which approach should you DM, and even how you negotiate things, which is pretty incredible. And then the content strategy as well, and then some of his observations from the stuff that he got. And just imagine David here, he got to 5 million recurring yearly revenue, that is millions of views on these posts, right? So we're not talking here getting a few signups from one of these. This is the kind of post that gets your business going. Some businesses have one of these, and then they're set. They're basically up into some sort of growth trajectory that we all need to, we need to work for that. So each of his posts kind of seems to be like that. That's my impression. I know, Sandra. Do you get the same impression? Have you actually seen
No,
this?
this is me first time seeing, and I cannot believe that this is free.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, you need to read it. So I just scrolled halfway, and each of these is super detailed. Then he talks about SEO. So SEO is kind of tricky, but he ties it into influencer marketing and paid ads as well. So I think this would be so interesting for you to read, Sandra. This would be so interesting because it's like a marketing
Yeah.
strategy, right? So he then goes to paid ads, and of course it depends on what product you have. So you should check David and see what he built. So I think this is for Genie AI, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe your product is not one to one, or maybe it's not even AI at all. Like this obviously applies to a specific type of product. So take it with a grain of salt, but read this thing is just mind blowing.
But isn't it
It's
wonderful that
crazy.
we are in this type of a community where you can actually stumble on these posts and just read the post and figure out things? Because,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
incredible. It's incredible. So yeah, actually, he has the screenshot at the end of this, and that is how much I didn't calculate this in my mind, but this is 487,000 MRR. That's like such a crazy number, and it's an insane hockey stick. Like his business, from what I see here, is that even 2 years old? Maybe not. Maybe I mean it's an AI tool, so probably not older than two
Yeah.
years. Completely bonkers.
Brilliant. Brilliant people.
All right, you want to take the next
Yes,
one by John or
last week
Sandra?
I was reading John, and it's really interesting to continue with John this week. But John is saying that
Yeah.
unicorns are failing dead. Bird Scooter failed for bankruptcy after raising almost 1 billion. WeWork failed for bankruptcy once being valued at 47 billion. Olive AI raised almost a billion, shut down. Convoy raised almost a billion, shut down. We've raised 0.6 billion, shut down. Plastic Q raised 150 million and it's shut down. Hopin 7 billion sold for 15 million. The list goes on. At the same time, profitable bootstrapper companies are thriving. The future of SaaS and non-deep hard tech startup is this: highly efficient bootstrapped small teams or even solo founders and indie makers. Having too much money while building your startup is like going to a gym that has fake weight. You lift them, it all looks good, but you gain no muscles. To build great stuff for the users, the business must be funded by users. Oh my God, this is such a good line. In this case, your whole focus is on users, not on your next round and VC journalists. I've done and still run both VC funded startups and bootstrapped. So I know both worlds really well. I believe in today's world, best startups will be bootstrapped and they'll use VC money for growth after PMF or product market fit.
What's your
I
take?
mean, I totally agree with John, and I totally understand when he says that he lives in the boat world, and I feel like the same. I feel like I have an influence from this bootstrapping and solopreneurs, and then being in the VC world. And I can tell you, in the VC world, it often happens that we hunt money more than building.
Then
Yeah,
work on the
yeah,
product.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that keeps happening. The reason for that, I mean, you raise money. Once you raise money, you need to continue raising money, which is really sad. And then concentration on what's the most important of the user and the product, it's kind of gone because all the metrics or everything you are building for
it's focusing on
Yeah.
growth, right? Yeah,
So, and
yeah.
everything is kind of far away from reality, which is really problematic.
So, what about the fact that you find PMF first and then you reach for investment? Does that make
I
sense
mean,
to you?
it does. Like, if you look at the startups and like famous startups, and you see stats on which year they have found PMF, is not the first year usually. You know, so how, like,
Oh,
then the question is, how long can we proceed until we find PMF without the funding? And usually, if you are bootstrapping or solo founder, that can be really hard, a runway,
yeah,
in order to find the,
that makes a
yeah.
lot of sense. Yeah,
So
yeah. But also on the VC side, that's less risk, right? Because you've already found PMF, and then it's a no-brainer
at
to
that
invest.
stage,
I think the only
absolutely. At that
question,
stage, if you have
yeah,
found product market fit, you have like paying customers and users, then raising money makes sense and going in the like scaling direction. But what we are seeing in the startup world, we have divided ourselves between like early stage and this stage and blah blah blah, and you have VC companies only investing in early stage, and that's the riskiest investments that they are making. And then you see like these numbers that 90% of startups are failing. Yeah, like we are taking these investments quite easy. Like even we in community do a better job on validating the products, like us solo alone, than the team of people.
right. And that doesn't even it's not even relevant because you just need to sell the idea to investors. You don't even need to go ahead with
Yeah,
validation, right?
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
That's a form of validation too, I guess, but it's not validating with users as we do
Oh,
in
absolutely.
the indie making.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like we do the better job in understanding if this product is good or not. And when we are talking about, oh, let's throw it in the wall, and if it sticks, and if it doesn't, we move on. That's like a really good approach.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is awesome. I love John. His posts are a lot more visionary than most of the stuff that we see on Twitter. As of today, X.com. I hate that. Hate that.
Is it,
And he has these.
is it
Yeah, sorry.
official?
Yeah, they redirect now, so
Nice.
I think that's the default, and you can still go on Twitter.com, but like you get yeah, I hate it. Who came up with this? Well, I think I know. Okay, nice job, John. This is I really like his stuff. I really like his stuff. Go follow him if you don't. He has a lot of these. He has a crazy amount of businesses as well. As he said, he used to be VC, and now he has what 24 projects running. I think is that true?
Yeah, 24
Yeah,
hours, I
yeah,
read,
which
yeah.
is insane. Yeah, and his unicorn platform is 25,000 MRR,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Which he bought for 0.8 million, I think maybe last year from fellow indie maker Alex. So really cool. Go follow him. Want to take the next one, Sandra? Or actually, no, I want to take it. You know why? Because I'm super excited about this. I'm so incredibly excited. So, Yossi Segev, he says, just shipped, introducing SEO stuff Keywords Explorer. Quickly browse billions of keywords based on a seed keyword or a URL. Apply filters to narrow down the results. Control credit spending in each search. So, why am I so excited about this? SEO stuff is kind of a indie take on SEMrush or Ahrefs or similar products, and it works with credits, so you don't have like this exorbitant $100 subscription or whatever it is just to use it once. You basically pay for what you use, and he keeps adding stuff, and he keeps getting closer and closer to these tools. They have a bunch of features, but a lot of them are not targeted at us. They're targeted at SEOs, at people who do this with 100 products and do consulting and so on and so forth. So we're effectively using like 5-10% of it, right? Most of us, with a few exceptions. So Yossi is doing it the other way around. He's basically building the 5-10% for us, and he's not charging us through the nose.
I've read the
So
first comment and I love it. The man is single-handedly taking down SEMrush and Ahrefs or whatever you
Hrefs,
pronounce it.
yeah, yeah,
And I love it.
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
we already talked about this, and I get so excited about this. Whenever you see these big, complicated, expensive products, and then you see someone from the community taking it and like niching it out and
yeah,
cleaning it for purpose, I mean, it's brilliant. Like,
yeah,
sometimes we tend to spend time on like thinking, oh, innovation, innovation, innovation. This is something I called innovation.
yeah. And the response is so good. So yeah, comments are love the take, cheaper pricing, similar reports. Everyone's. I mean, we're sick and tired of paying huge amounts of money for stuff we don't need,
Exactly.
and this is such a breath of fresh air. And yeah, Yossi, he's a brilliant indie maker, freaking fantastic. Go try SEO stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just in love with this. Super
Great
fun.
job, Yossi. Great job. I'm super proud. I don't know why, but every time we read updates on product, I always feel like they are my own as well. And then I'm like, yes, we did it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel as well. Like we're somehow in this together, and we're showing it to the man, which is yeah. So of course the irony of this is eventually Yossi's gonna become a huge product, and then he will be
It's okay. It's okay.
and
We will still love
yeah,
you,
it's
Yossi, and we
okay.
will remember you.
Well, I mean, if someone needs to, might as well be
Yeah.
Yossi, right? Might as well have him be the top SEO
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sandra, want to take the
Yes,
next
I
one?
do want to take next one, and I was listening carefully how you were pronouncing the name, so I'll try my best. The first one is easy. Mark Lovion.
Oh, you said it with the love. He's gonna enjoy this one. So Mark Love
Yes.
Eon,
He's saying,
what does he
I'm
say?
launching a free Canny alternative because first, Canny has too many features for solo makers. Here we go again. Second, 99 per month for more than one product. It's called Insights 2 and it's live on Product Hunt now.
In Saito, I would read it.
Insighto.
I think it's in Saito. Well, depend. Yeah, yeah, because if it was Insight 2, it would be. No, I don't know. I
But
actually
again,
don't know.
but again, we have a similar pattern. Taking a bigger product, niching it out, using the features that we really need, and then putting it together.
Yeah. With some special sauce because this is
Of
Mark, right?
course.
So he's saying ship features users really want, collect feedback from your customers, prioritize features, and build a product users love. How is this free though? How can it be free? This is
Don't,
great.
maybe Mark is listening. It's free, it's great. Thank you, Mark.
He should learn from his. I don't think he ever made a free product. Did he? Or no, logo fast. Okay, never mind. Who am I to say what Mark should do? I think he's fine. 80% of startups fail because founders build useless products.
Hey,
You launch a new feature. Was that? He didn't say
I
clue
know, but I got hurt a little bit.
in the sentence. Yeah. Launch a new feature, but nothing happens, lose your motivation, and then quit. So, yeah, collecting feedback, prioritizing. How are you doing this in Clue, and how much feedback do you have? Is it something you can even deal with at
Don't
this
ask me
point, or is
anything.
it
This
completely out
this
of
week
control?
was absolutely crazy week. I am on this 2 weeks challenge with 100 users. The feedback is coming from absolutely everywhere. Getting the feedback and collecting the feedback is really hard. One thing, because for my problem is that it's coming from different channels. So I need to collect it in one place. Usually I send it to Slack and then someone else needs to take over and filter it somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's quite messy.
Who's that someone?
My lovely other Dan.
So but where does it end up? So from Slack, you put it in
Notion, yeah.
Notion or
Notion
something
is
like that?
the,
Yeah.
but before it comes to Notion, it goes through different channels, then it goes through Slack, and then it's collected in Notion.
Yeah. So how do you rank stuff? Because this is what Insight does, or Insight
It's
2,
very
whatever.
similar approach as I
It's
can see from the what Mark is doing. If it's a repetitive
yeah,
feedback, if it's like a bug thing depending, or like,
yeah, yeah. By the way, one of his screenshots has a list of potential features. So one of them is PayPal integration. Images should be smaller or dark mode, and the dark mode one just has one upvote, and then underneath it says, "P.S. I don't pay for your app." That's great. That's actually the
and
main
you
image
know
of the
what?
website. I really love his humor. It's
Mark is
just
really good in
really
that.
cool.
And funny thing, he also showcased what you should ship, like ship this PayPal integration, dark mode, not that.
Yeah. You know what they say, if you have ship dark mode, you've
Yeah.
shipped too late. So, yeah. But the user feedback thing, it's a mess for me as well. I have a few systems, and I actually plan to add the Sentry user feedback. I just saw that, so Sentry are our dear sponsor as well. They basically have a new take on this, which is, they focus on errors and bugs. So they do user feedback for that, but it's also generic user feedback. And then the difference is they get the context. And a few weeks ago, I got an error in my email, and I basically saw that there's an entire video of what the user was doing up to that error. And this is what really gets me with user feedback, is that sometimes, depending on how technical the user is, you have no idea what they've been doing. And you kind of have to guess why they gave you that feedback. So this one, you get the feedback, they can write, "I hate this app," right? But you see exactly, like, this is so crazy. You see exactly what they've been clicking. And they can also attach screenshots and stuff like that. But to be honest, this is like the best out of the tools out there, because I don't need to follow up and say, "Hey, can you explain this? Can we jump on a call? Can we, maybe it's just me. I hate jumping on calls to like debug things, because you never know how technical the
Yeah.
user is, and you think you're prepared, and then you are not prepared for this level of technicality."
I've just
So
added in the comments if
yeah,
someone wants to check it out, but I need to add this to Clue. I
I
need to
think
add,
so. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add it this weekend. Yeah. So I don't know how. Yeah, no. The other part of this that I need to try is how the feedback actually goes into a list, or whatever. Can you rank it? Can you easily understand the feedback and so on? I don't know how that part is. I want to try it because this sounds brilliant to me. It's kind of like mixing. How's this product called? I think. Well, it's recordings in general, but we used to have the Hotjar product. Have you ever used that? Okay. But PostHog does it as well. So PostHog could do recordings where you can see exactly where the users clicked and how they scrolled and so on, right? So you also get that plus the user feedback. So it's a bit of a, let's say, mix between PostHog and error tracking, which is what they do anyway. So all right. Do you want to take? I think we're done with the weekly stuff for now. This is what I've seen. Do you have something that you want to talk about, or do we jump to build in public updates?
Well, I just want to say that I had a lovely, lovely week, and I just want to say, if you are not like doing the user feedback, like, first of all, we all have users, and the feedback is always coming in. But what I've learned this week, if you manage to really decide to go on some kind of challenge, and ask the right question, it's much, much easier to get a better picture on how the user is interacting and what is happening with your app. So I highly, highly suggest for people to do that. I think it's much easier if you set up a challenge for yourself and know what to ask users. And yeah, I just want to tell that to motivate people to jump on that because it's really, really good. Even though it's a lot of work and it's quite like annoying and complicated, but it's super useful.
Yeah, I should do it too. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
Dan.
How did you plan for this? I need to go into the details. So you decided you want to do feedback for 1
2
week.
weeks.
That's sort of like
Yeah.
2 weeks, sorry. And what did you do to get that? Did you prepare some emails? Did you tell me the
So
process?
first of all, I started with I call them power users in Clue. So I made a
Mm-hmm.
list of people that I have already talked. Like I have also power users that have never replied to my emails, and it's so sad. But then I also think there are products that I'm using, and then when you get an email, you're like, "Oh, this is so cute and nice," but you never reply on them. So I kind of understand that. But then I found a group of people that are power users that I already had a contact before, and I knew that they're gonna reply to me. So I put that in the sheet, and then I also decided to reach out to people that are kind of like in my target audience and etc. to understand what's the difference between already users that we have and the ones that we are onboarding in. My problem was, first of all, there was few things that I wanted to test. Currently, I'm trying to move, and this you might find it very funny, but I'm trying to move away from AI idea and like yeah.
What? What?
So let me tell you something.
That's crazy.
This whole hype, like if you go on Clue website, and I'm super annoyed by Clue website, it's so unclear. And I have been,
Sandra, wait a second. Wait a second. Stop right there. You'll tell me about the website. Why haven't you talked about this? This will go extremely viral because no one is taking AI out. Like everyone's sprinkling AI on top of their stuff, and you're saying you've decided to take it out. And why is it the problem on the
okay,
website?
let me try to clear things up. When we are talking about the product itself, and when using AI, at least in our case, it made our product more complicated. It was more unclear what we have, like what are we trying to do and why we are doing that. When we started Clue, the whole idea was people will be able to find whatever they need in a second. So they connect their all cloud-based apps, Slack, Notion, Gmail, blah, 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 and with keyword, they find it. Okay?
Yeah.
But then, in the same time, AI came out. And we were like, wait a minute, we can use AI, and why we wouldn't use the AI? And let's put now AI everywhere. Let's allow people to ask questions, and let's us try to reply to these questions, and blah, blah, blah. And that was such an
Mm-hmm.
issue for me because, first of all, maybe it was a product problem because we didn't explain what you can ask, but in the same time, it's so wide and it's so hard to explain to a user what they can ask. Because if you go into Clue and you know there's your Slack and your Notion and your Gmail and your email and blah, 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 you want to ask a question like, what was the latest thing I talked with Dan in January? And you expect us to answer, and we fail, you know. It's too wide, too broad, we didn't niche the product correctly, and etc. But the idea of AI is brilliant, you know. Whatever you ask, you get it from your internal data. And that at that time, like, it made product too complicated. We went from that initial search idea and getting faster and doing things just because the AI was hyped. What I'm trying to say, I'm not quitting from AI, but I am going back to basic in sense. Look, Clue is a search bar. You connect your cloud-based apps with a keyword. you can find what you're looking for. You don't have to go to Notion or your Gmail and blah, blah, blah. Now we are talking only about saving time, okay? The second thing is like if you have your Google Calendar, you can integrate your Google Calendar from one search bar. You can see all your upcoming events. We have quick actions, so you can do all of these things from one search bar. So AI we will figure it out, like how to properly use AI and not fail in AI. But what I'm trying to say is that we jumped on a wagon without understanding how to properly use AI. And that kind of was
That was not a
not good
good
idea
idea.
before
Yeah,
understanding
yeah,
the core features and then how to implement AI, you know.
yeah.
So that's me.
Wow, that's very interesting. What about, you've been sort of communicating that it's AI this or AI that. Are you going to change the way you
Yes,
communicate as
yes,
well, or is
yeah.
it? Yeah,
So what I'm doing this weekend is that I'm cleaning up the website. I'm taking out all of this, ask whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. And I'm focusing only on core features when it comes to the search bar. So find by the keyword what you need, see upcoming events and quick actions. So the three core features that users can see success immediately and then
yeah.
figuring out AI later on.
But this wasn't based on the user feedback. This is something that you've observed
Oh,
yourself,
absolutely,
and then you wanted
absolutely.
to.
Like I have,
Yeah,
it's very hard, like we are all different, and the way we are making these questions, it's too broad. It's too broad to be able to. It's too broad to be able to, for the user to see success immediately when he's on app. you know
yeah,
so I had like going with users and just seeing what they are asking and how they are interacting, and it's not them to be blamed but fully us to be blamed, of course, because there was no right direction.
yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I would be very scared to do this. It's a huge change, but it sounds like the right thing to do. Changing your entire landing page messaging
Absolutely,
is terrifying to
absolutely.
me. So, all right, let's take some other updates. I have one by Tim Wheeler here. So, just building public updates. Let's find out what people are making, what they've been up to this week. So, Tim says, having fun hacking on a mobile app for this month, just getting the off flow ironed out with my API. Also, added this cool little astronaut dude for the loading screen. What do you think? Looks
I
super
love it.
cool, Tim. Nice work with that. It's very cute and cuddly. I think you should probably keep something in mind when you build this, and maybe you're probably already doing that, but maybe have this as a template, or dare I say the word boilerplate, because if you spend some time building this mobile app and you said this month figuring out the authentication and so on, that really gets to me. Like the reason why I made Shipixon is to not spend a month on this initial setup, and maybe this is the same for you and the app. I think there's stuff similar to this that allows you to build an app very quick, but maybe not, and maybe you're using a specific type of tech and you can make it. You could be the first to make it, or you just make it for yourself. So I definitely recommend doing that. Sandra, what do you think about this? Are you still with us? Because I saw you
No, I am
disappear.
here. Can you hear me?
You're not with us anymore. Well, next week Sandra will pay for the premium internet and we'll get her to maybe read an update. But at least you could tell the clue story in the included internet, which is probably 2 MB per week that she gets, and then I think next week we'll get 2 more
I
megabytes,
think I'm
and
back.
yeah, that's how it is. So Adita, he says, I made a coding chatbot with OpenAI's latest GPT 4.0. That's one thing that happened this week that I should maybe have have touched about. It's been such a long week, huh? Lately, I've been experimenting with different LLMs, mainly checking how good they are for coding, and I still find Opus to be the best model so far, but GPT 4.0 seems to be pretty fast with regards to latency. So if you haven't been following, OpenAI released the new model, and I I kind of found it exciting initially, but then not for my own usage. But it's exciting in the sense that it offers some new opportunities, and I think that's cool. I would personally not talk to the AI asking for code fixes. I think that is just more annoying than to actually put the code. But in the demo, what they were showing is they have a screenshot of the code base, and then you can ask it to, based on the screenshot, not necessarily of the code base, of screenshot of whatever you want, because the new model has vision and speech built in. So kind of combining what's the Whisper, DALL-E, and previous GPT-4 Turbo, I guess. And honestly, I think it's super cool, but I'm not excited about their consumer stuff. The desktop app, maybe, maybe. I think I'll still use. I haven't been using OpenAI stuff for a while. That's kind of my hot take. I've been using Claude for a bit, Perplexity for a bit as well, and they've been better for content. I think for code, I would still fall back to ChatGPT sometimes, but it's not as good as it used to be, and I don't know why that is, to be honest. So a very cool model. The funny stuff was that they launched it one day before Google I/O, so like perfectly timed, and I think they do this with every single Google announcement one day before there's an OpenAI launch where everyone's kind of thinking, well, the Google stuff's not really that awesome. I mean, have you seen the OpenAI stuff one day ago? And Google also launched a new version of Gemini, and the big update for indie makers is that Google now offers AI in search. And there was a lot of panic because people said, SEO is in trouble. And my take on that is, I don't think so. I think if you were trying to game the system and create AI generated content, that's probably a worse spot for you. But I think for now, you should still do SEO. It might change very soon. Things move fast, and I think when people start having enough confidence in these LLMs to actually give them factual results from websites, it will be a problem because then Google doesn't need us per se, or doesn't need to link to us, right? As long as the answers are good enough. So I think it's fine for now, but huge changes. Google and OpenAI are battling this out. They are probably going to fight for dominance in a few spaces. I don't think OpenAI is attacking search yet, but what they showed in the presentation is definitely attacking, sorry, the virtual assistant space. So a lot of these Rabbit MQ and what's the other thing called that already disappeared, those are kind of, I mean, they were questionable from the start, but I think OpenAI's app does a better job at what they do, and it's just an app. It's not a device that you need to charge, a device that you need to carry around. So I would kind of be afraid in their spot. They didn't have much success, and now OpenAI is kind of coming for their business, similar to the Siri and Google Assistant and so on. It does really look like a better version of that and a faster version of that as well, if not a little bit too chatty. So yeah, Adira here, he's playing with it. I saw another post before by Alex S. He says, just switch to GPT-4o for all skills race AI tools, and it's amazingly fast and good. It generates the whole course in less than 35 seconds. I also saw Rafael from Chatwit. He's making a chatbot app. He basically had this ready immediately. So it's not a big switch to add this to your API. And they made it generally available right away, which is cool. Before, I don't know if you remember, but before GPT-4, you need to be signed up for this really long, what did they call it? Not a pre-order, but wait list. Yeah, that's what it is. And some people got in, and some people were just waiting for months and months to get access. So if they've changed that, maybe because of the competition, they can't afford to do this. And they're also, I think they're more confident in the models. And that kind of goes to show that, in just 1 year, they can release a new model without having to essentially go through the waitlist process and kind of see, okay, is this going to say something terrible or is it going to hallucinate? Is just ready to go. So, all right. I think for now we're going to end the show. Sandra is somewhere lost. She doesn't have internet. She doesn't have any access. So she says that she loves you all. I think something like that. She was throwing her hands up and swearing, and then showed the heart. Thank you very much for tuning in this long episode. We're going to do these every Saturday now, and we're going to do a double episode instead. So we get a little bit more time to cover. There's so much going on, as you can see. We get a little bit more time to cover these topics, and also we get a little bit more time to gather indie maker news and to kind of curate it. And let's see how this goes. If you have any feedback on the long format, please let us know in the comments. Otherwise, go to morningmakershow.com, find us on Spotify, find us on Apple Podcasts, and most recently, find us on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining, and see you next Saturday. Have a great weekend. Bye.
We launched our podcast in 30 minutes. After 5 months, we've hit 10K in revenue. Today, we are thrilled to share our journey on YouTube, bringing you great stories, amazing makers with each episode offering valuable lessons. We believe our YouTube channel will be great. With your amazing support, we need your feedback and love. It took us weeks of learning and editing and perfecting our content. Thank you, Lera. Hope you enjoy Morning Maker Show. We would love to hear what you think. Let us know what your favorite parts or what we could improve on. Link in the first comment.
In the second comment, thank you to our amazing members and sponsors. And then we tag absolutely everybody. Everybody, so everybody likes it, likes the top. Like we tag every single fucking person.
Okay.